This is the book of started Matthew chapter 10. Book of Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10. Oh, Salakia. This is Matthew chapter 10. I'm going to start at verse 34. The point is verse 36, and it reads, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and a mother-in-law against her mother." Slack, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 36, the point, "And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachah Kodesh Baruch. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim and the Aquath out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and on the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth to you. I say shalom. This your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I had seen a post, I believe a brother posted, they didn't post the article, but our brothers be through the Spirit just posting stuff, and that's why it really ain't an excuse for a brother not to be doing his epistles, his video epistles, because, it's all kind of things going on that you can do a lesson on, the Bible encompasses a lot of different things. And like I said, just, you know, I saw this, and this was probably like last week or days ago, but, through the Spirit, I had saved it and I wanted to go into it. So right now, this is like a quick hit because, it's pretty much certain scriptures you can hit showing you what time we in the days. This is a way for you to measure the days because what's going on, in the world. And, it really caught my attention because of the fact she looked like a Jake. It says 18-year-old Miami woman arrested after allegedly trying to hire a hitman to go after her 3-year-old son. It says police arrested an 18-year-old mother Tuesday after she attempted to hire a hitman to kill her 3-year-old son. Jasmine Paez, that she looked like she might be like Northern Kingdom with Jake, was flagged to authorities after she filled out a form on a parody hit for hire website designed to prevent legitimate solicitation to commit murders, according to Miami-Dade police affidavit. And I can't remember the name of the website, but a few goofy ass people get caught up in that website. I think it's called Hitman for Hire or something. It's something. But I've noticed since I found out about it, you have had people in the news that basically went on this website to try to hire actual hitman. It's kind of like when you like if you've ever come across those different sites with the harlots or whatever, like basically they'll be like they're trying to say how like they want to know if you affiliated with any law or whatnot, but at the same time you can't even trust none of that shit. That just show you how simple people are though. Like literally the person just go advertise. I remember the last time I heard something about it. I think I heard it on like Charlemagne and whatever the fuck that podcast or that show that they got, that radio show with Charlemagne. And I don't call him the god. That nigga, he's trying to say he got power, but that nigga a weirdo. You can look at his eyes, but look like he got mascara. Like, well, that's irrelevant. But it was a guy that basically I think was in the service, and he basically tried to get a job with the website. You know what I mean? With the company, because he was like, he just came from the service. He had a unique skill set, and basically he was willing to be a hitman. And basically, I think on that show they have what they term the donkey of the day, the person that does some idiotic shit. You know what I mean? And but this caught my attention because she looked like a Jake. And you can never trust Esau. Like once they get to, that's just like a CIA. You think the CIA gonna inform you or divulge the fact that they the CIA? No, the fact, like when Freeway Ricky Ross was getting the drugs, he's getting them from the government, the CIA. You think he knew he was getting them from the CIA? Not at the beginning. Afterwards, he figured it out. You know what I mean? But yeah. So if the government can sit up there and just commit, crime and it's not illegal, why would you trust in your government? That's just to the average Edomite or 2/3 Jake-ass nigga. It says Jasmine Paez was flagged to authorities after she she filled out a form on a parody. Oh, I read this part. It says the individual who runs the website received a service request to put out a hit on the intended victim, Paez's son. Police said the website operator reached out to the police, who verified the credibility of the information provided on the website. And you don't know what kind of, like, how he locked in or whatever the fuck. Well, they don't say if it's a man, it could be a woman. It says the website owner. But you don't, like I say, because think about it, they got to be affiliated with the police. Basically you a parody. You say basically their whole job is to try to catch dangerous. This is like pre-crime, like off of what's that shit called? Minority Report. You haven't did the crime, but basically it's just like when a female out there, when they put a bait car out there, or when they have a female out there walking the strip, like she's soliciting, like she'll be, but basically she'll be the police, or she working with the police, or like I said, the bait car that they're putting in the hood, but that's creating crime. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, like if you didn't tempt that person with that situation, how they might have not did anything. So it's like that's some wicked ass shit for real. It says the individual who runs the website received a service request said the website operator reached out to the police, who verified the credibility of the information provided on the website. After investigating, the authorities arrested Paez Tuesday night. The 18-year-old has been charged with first-degree solicitation. Right. Solicitation of murder, and third degree using a communication device for unlawful use. I've never even heard of that charge. They said you used the phone to track. These goddamn devils. According to court documents. Court documents show Paez appeared at court Wednesday and has obtained legal representation through and how you gonna beat that? You know what I mean? Like, you literally went solicited. The Miami-Dade Public Defender's Office, CNN, has reached out to Paez's attorney. Paez used a fake name to file the request on the phone. She went that stupid phony website and asked for a child to be taken far away and possibly killed as soon as possible. God damn. And that's what the point of got me, because like I said, I think she Jake, and it made me think of scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Because that's our people, you know what I mean? Our people are fucked up, you know what I mean? And we was just bringing out at camp, it's through the grace and power of Yahweh Shah to give us, the spirit to open our eyes to, because, this devil has did such a number on our people. But this is the book of Deuteronomy. The scriptures tell you in the book of Deuteronomy how if we followed the law, statutes, and commandments, we would be blessed. And if we didn't, we would be cursed. So when you go into the list of blessings, the curses, because it's 15 blessings from, like, think 1 to verse 15. That was the blessings. Now, I believe Deuteronomy 28 goes all the way to verse 68. So from 15, from 15 all the way to, from 16 all the way to 68 is curses. So the curses far outweigh the blessings, and those curses are basically going to fall upon our enemies. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, because basically we are under the curse right now, but the Lord is basically lifting the curse off. He's going to put it on our enemies, you know what I mean? But, our curse wasn't forever. But it tells you in the scriptures that Esau, Edom, the people of my curse. So that's why the scriptures talk about the Most High. Basically, he have loved Jacob and hated Esau, because, he's going to basically allow Jacob to come back in, through redemption, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, but through Yahushua Mashiach, our big brother, our Lord and Savior, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. But the devil, the deceiver, Esau, Edom, the wicked, nah, they gonna be fucked up. They gonna eat these curses, and then they gonna be burnt up, and that's all scriptural. It says, moreover, these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, which you see today. We out there week in, week out. We try to tell Jake to come back to the law, statute, commandments before, it's too late. Our people don't want to hear it. They'd rather be joined unto the enemy, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. I was just going into that. We was bringing out some of the inventions that Jake created, and I was bringing up the fact of the traffic light. Traffic light is used everywhere on the planet, and Jake created that. You would think based on that one, invention, Jake would never be fucked up again. That's showing you is something spiritual. You know what I mean? That was the point of the patent office being created, because the majority of the shit that's used in the United States, Babylon, was created by slaves, but the slaves didn't profit from that shit. That's what the scriptures talk about that. Basically, you will not, you won't profit from your, I forgot how it's put. It's either in Deuteronomy or it's Lamentations, I believe. But it talks about how you'll get no account for your labors, roughly paraphrased. I'm gonna skip because I'm not trying to make this long. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 51. It says, no, I want to go down. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 53, and it reads, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and thy daughters, which thou, Lord, thy power hath given thee in the siege and in the straightness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So this was a prophecy that actually came to pass. I believe it's going into 70 AD, the siege of Masada. Because basically the city was besieged and basically got to the point because they starved them out. They began to eat, they children, which when you're going through the histories, it was multiple times where Jake basically reverted to eating their own flesh. And that's part of the curses, you know what I mean? Verse 54, Salaki, where is it? Oh, the Akon. I want verse 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. That's how dainty the women of our nation were at one point in time. Now, like the elder apostle to her say, they got so many spirits on them. A nigger woman. Now I'm just gonna say it like that because I ain't gonna say the Judite woman or nothing. I'm gonna say the nigger woman. You know what I mean? The nigger woman, because I ain't gonna say no tribe, just nigger woman. The nigger woman will be trying to whoop a grown ass man ass. If you ain't, all your shit and you can't move a little bit, you might get caught with it one here and there. You know what I mean? Like, which is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's them spirits and demons on them. You know what I mean? You might really have to handle a nigger woman like a man and knock that bitch out. You know what I'm saying? It's the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom and toward her son and her daughter. So, that's when you get this whole, basically, Jake, the household all fucked up, because that's in the scriptures. Verse 57, and toward her young one that come up out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. So again, part of that has passed because that was the siege of Masada, as well as other times in the scriptures. I could think of what's that, 2 Kings chapter 6. I forgot what king was ruling. I want to say it was Ahab, but nonetheless, that was basically part of the curse, and we're gonna have that. That's gonna basically, because when you go in the scriptures, a lot of things repeat themselves, and you're gonna have that again in Jacob's trouble, And when you look at the nigger woman's mindset, yeah, she not gonna give a fuck. I had a female, literally. I know a nigger woman from the past before I came to the truth. It was like right before I got my revelation about the truth. Literally, it was a bitch I was dealing with, demon, Flatfoot Demon, and she made a statement like that. She was like, "Oh shit," she would eat a motherfucker, and she'd eat a dead body. And I'm like, "Bitch, do you not know?" Like she was like, she'd eat. I think she said she'd eat some shit. It made me look at her like, ugh, I don't even want to touch you no more. Like she said some old crazy shit, and I was just like, damn, bitch, you crazy? But like, first of all, fecal matter is like toxic. You know what I mean? Like, to show you how goofy Jake is too. But and that was the mindset of this female. You know what I mean? She had like 3-4 kids. So I often think about that. Like, well, damn, when the shit go down, this bitch liable to eat her kid. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean? So, and based on that, because of the fact that, the woman wasn't given any wisdom, you know, women are fickle. This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse, 13. And this is basically a parable for, the woman, the Israelite woman at that. It says, Job 39 and 13, gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? And when you go into the ostrich is a cruel ass bird, but it's symbolic of the Israelite woman, the nigger woman. I can see you got righteous Israelite women. That's in the scriptures. What it call in the scriptures? The virtuous woman. Proverbs, I think 31. Verse 14, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust. So the ostrich is basically likened unto the nigger woman, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. Verse 16, she is hardened against her young ones as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. Verse 17, because the Most High have deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. So, the nigger woman don't have no understanding. You know what I'm saying? Brother was just talking about that at camp. A woman have everything that she desires and still will be unhappy because she ain't at peace. Brothers be content to a degree, just basically having a daily bread. The house straight, bills caught up. They like the Lord have a peaceful spirit on a brother because we got this truth. But a woman you could be dicking her down, she ain't satisfied. You could be giving her everything she asked for, or splurging on her and buying her everything she wants. She still ain't satisfied. That's why women cheat. It'd be one little stupid ass thing that they ain't get. Like a kid. A kid don't understand, like a kid will try to get everything that they see in the store because they don't know no better. Well, when you got grown ass individuals that still thinking like that, it's a problem. You know what I mean? They don't know how to compromise, or, it's just, and the crazy part, I wasn't trying to go in on women, but I always was going to do a video on this, but just, for the last, it seemed like week or two, brother's been going in on the women, but it is that time, brother spiritually catching hell, you know what I mean? You got women that's going through shit that truly believe, but for the most part, you're supposed to be a help, not a hindrance. So that's what motherfuckers supposed to really evaluate themselves, I finally getting what the brothers was saying and what the elders was saying about, you'd be better off being like Paul, because the woman is lightweight like your enemy on the side, even if she don't tend to be. Like that's how much Esau got them for real. Even when a woman is say something that you would consider righteous to a degree, but then she bucking up to you. Well, how the fuck is you a help? You know what I mean? Salakia for all the extra 2 cents. It's back in Matthew chapter 12. And that's why Yahushua said what he said, because the Lord might put you in a situation that you might have to give up your household. You know what I mean? Yahushua basically gave up his household. You had Peter that gave up his household to a degree. Peter had a family. I didn't know that prior to coming into the truth. That's how diligent our elders and apostles is. And that's why I personally give them double honors. You would never know how much they have taught me. Call Loyam La Yabashim Yashab for this truth and for our elders. It says Matthew chapter 12 and the point is verse 48. It says, but Salakia, let me go up. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. While he talked to the people, this is talking about Yahushua, or who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. So while Yahushua was basically preaching, that's why you see red letters at first, and then they go into his family was basically had pulled up and wanted to speak to him. And then it says, verse 47, then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. So then somebody came to him and said, well, your mother and your brethren want to speak to you. Verse 48, but he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who is my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. Verse 50, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and my mother. And that go back to the scripture I read in Luke, was that Matthew? No, that was Matthew chapter 10, when it talk about a man's foes will be of their own household. Brothers was going into that when we just went through You know, the CV situation. You had your so-called family didn't want to be around you unless you took that jump shot. So just imagine when they start implementing, well, if you ain't got this, you know, you could call this line and tell on and expose this person. And the way that they got the society set up, you know, with these tip lines and, you know, when you go in the first 48, like I never watched that show. I couldn't stand it. You know what I mean? Could never get into it. I knew people that just fascinated with that type of shit. You know what I mean? My demon for one. But long story short, I could never really get into it because when you see how set up this shit is, like these detectives don't really get paid for really solving shit. They ain't Batman. You know, the Dark Knight detective, they motherfucking get tips, and that's how they figure this shit out. Because a motherfucker tell. A nigga either tell on himself or a motherfucker go tell to get that little motherfucking, the Esau know that. You know what I mean? That's why Esau give you money to motherfucking go tell. That's just like the situation that happened at downtown when an individual shot up the entertainment district. You know, it's a particular street where it's a lot of clubs and things that Esau can do in our downtown Cleveland. And long story short, somebody, individual, I guess, well, no, it actually was two different incidents where, because got shot up. And basically they offered a reward because those businesses, it's like a coalition of businesses that basically pay the city to, they created like a agency that'll go watch out to see what's going on. They'll clean the streets, they'll clean that area. Long story short, they basically put up a reward to find out who did the shit. And like a day or two later, they found out who did it. That's how much motherfuckers talk. So, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, your family, you know, that's why Yahweh said what he said. Your family, your real family is those that's doing this. You know, you might have to give up everything. And I've heard brothers' testimonies and know what brothers personally going through. I got a family as well. You know, and that comes with a certain mindset. You got to lightweight make yourself numb to certain shit. You know what I mean? Because you don't know who the Lord's saving and who delivering. Hell, we don't even know if we getting saved. That's why we're of the hopeful elect. So, you know, we coming into hard, evil times. You know, that's what the scriptures talk about. You know, this Salakia. This is the book of Salakia. I did not mean to do that. It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 3, Ezekiel 7 and 3, and it reads, now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. So the Lord saying he going to reward you with the abominable shit that you was doing. So, you know, I made a example of, you know, like, it's abomination. Anything that's filthy or disgusting is abomination, is a filthy, disgusting act. So homosexuality is a filthy and disgusting act to the Lord. That's in the scriptures. Not my words, the Bible. You know what I mean? But yet still, nonetheless, you know, we stand on that. You know, thing is, you know, the Lord, he said he gonna repay you by your abomination. So, you know, just like a woman could be raped to death, just imagine, you know, the Lord could have one of these alphabet people be basically raped to death. You know what I mean? You're going to have spirits out here like the Lord. And that's what you're seeing now. You know, that incident with this female, she literally in the spirit of fuck her, you know, fuck her. And I brought out the scripture in Deuteronomy, you know, I shall be evil to her own seed. Verse 4, and mine eye shall not spare thee. The Lord not gonna give a fuck either. You know, when you read Ezekiel chapter 9 and talk about spare not neither man, woman, maid, child. Yeah, the Lord ain't gonna have no pity. And my eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. Yahweh ba'ashem Yahushai. Verse 5, the point. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh ba'ashem Yahushai, power and evil, and only evil behold is come. Evil, meaning time, ill meaning bad. Bad times is coming. So you're gonna not only have struggling financially and hardships and all that, you're gonna have motherfuckers with a mindset of fuck you, is about me. And that's gonna bring the most crime. As you already see a crime pick up, you know what I mean? Just it's not being advertised like that, you know. But pay attention to what's going on in the city. Like I tend to ride past shit, you seeing all these teddy bears and bottles and shit wrapped around these different street lights and poles. That's usually like a mural for somebody that died. So, you know, with that, you know, I'm gonna end the lesson with that. You know what I mean? They caught my attention again because I think she Jake. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to called Loyum, like Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Racha. Kodash Barakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, thought to the listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. So next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and waffle, shalom.